What is up, players? It's WarbossTae in this mug. This is not a day 9 video. I have not yet begun to paint. This is just an update showcasing how I have been able to progress. I'm using a dice rolling app. There's also this great app where you can shake your iPad and it'll roll the dice for you. But I wanted to do this the simplest way I could because I do not have much time. And before I have to head out the door with the lady boss, because it is the weekend and that means we've got errands to run and stuff to do to prep for Mother's Day tomorrow. I'm still gonna get some some time to work when I get home tonight, but I wanted to do my fortifying Hobbyton updates. Yes, I'm still in my Superman pajamas. Don't tell the lady boss, she's gonna kill me if she knows that I'm not getting ready to go yet. Gotta get this video out, son! So I've got 160 Warbucks so far in the May Painting Challenge because up to day 8, that was 5 points for each daily upload, plus 15 points for each shout out. Hey guys. So the shout outs are here. So up till now, that's 5 points each for all my awesome people in the challenge that I did shout outs to. So that's 160 in total, 20 points a day. And for week 1, my guys fortified. So what did they do? They upped the physical exercise of the farmers. They trained them on how to stay physically active and eat healthy and take care of themselves so they're not all big, lazy, out of shape, out of breath, and not able to fortify Hobbyton themselves. Or protect Hobbyton when the bad guys attack. So this is the amount of experience points each guy was able to get at the end of the month. I should come up with a name for my Easter Bunny dwarf. Igor, Lewis, dwarf, Commissar Bane, and of course, Terry Crews. So Commissar Bane and Lewis are trained, which means that they can get a reroll on this dice roll. Here we go! Roll the dice. Boosh! 87. I'm just gonna go in order. And again, 74 for Lewis. Dwarf in a bunny suit. 97. Ooh. 93 for Commissar Bane, and Terry Crews gets 84. So that's pretty respectable. 74 and 93 I will re-roll and then choose the highest one of the 2 rolls because they are trained. If you are adventuring every other day, calculating those points that way, then you could potentially have a lot more points, especially if you train your guys to get the re-rolls. But again, if you roll a 6 or a 1 on your d6 after each adventuring roll to see how much Warbucks you get, then you're going to lose that party member. So for anybody who's participating in Hobbyton and taking me on for the challenge of who can get the most WarbossTae Warbucks by the end of the month, this is kind of how I'm doing it. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Okay, let's reroll that 74 first. 72, no, so I'll take the highest of the 2, which is 74. And rerolling the 93. 101! Woo! Now, utilizing the skills I learned at the great public elementary school that I went to, let's calculate these points. 7, 14, 15, 19, 23, carry the 2, 10, 17, 26, 0, 34, carry the 3, plus 1 is 443. Oh, that's so weird. That is so weird because when I was in middle school and in high school, I was in a play about the 442nd Combat Infantry Unit, which was a bunch of Japanese-American GIs in World War II that were, if you didn't know this part in history, American government was kind of not so friendly to the Japanese-American citizens, the American citizens with Japanese ancestry during that time. So they put a lot of the Japanese into internment camps, and it was a really bad time. But they wanted to show their patriotism, so they, mostly guys from Hawaii, because there is a large population of Japanese-American soldiers there, plus a lot of guys from the West Coast went into this unit. And the 442nd is still active in Hawaii, and they're really, really good. But they really distinguished themselves. I was in this play basically where I had to play a soldier in this unit, and they went to war in Europe, and they lost a lot of, they had all these casualties, and they were called, was it these guys or the 100th Battalion that was called the Purple Heart Battalion, because so many of them got hurt and were wounded. But they wanted to show their patriotism because they wanted to show the American government that they weren't spies for the Japanese government, and that they were loyal patriots. And it was really cool. There was the defining moment in the play was when they went to rescue this surrounded, I forget if it was a company or platoon of, I think it was a company of American soldiers that were surrounded by this by Germans, and so they had to fight their way up this hill, and they were getting shredded apart, and they were really just gung-ho about going to save these other Americans, and I think that kind of turned it around for them. But cool, that's really cool. 442nd Battalion, the Japanese American infantrymen in World War II. You should go check it out. And 443. So add that to the 160, boop, 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 and that leaves us with 603 Warbucks going into week number 2. So I was thinking, what can my guys do for week number 2, because we're in week 2 now, to fortify Hobbyton? First of all, let's promote our other guys that we haven't promoted yet. So 50 for Igor, 100, and 150 for Terry Crews. So now all of us can re-roll our fortifying rolls. That's 150. I kind of like fortifying because it kind of builds Hobbyton, and it I don't have to worry about what I'm doing every other day if I'm sending my guys out on adventures. So I'll have them fortify for week 2. 500, 453. So this is the new total I have going into day 9, actually, since I should have done this yesterday for the 8th of May, but going into the 9th of May, so a week from today, I will tally up their points and send them out on another fortifying endeavor. But for week 2, I kind of like, Terry Crews is a catechin, and he's big and mean and loves to yell and scream and burst through walls. So I'm going to have him continue working with the farmers. And the militia, let's call them the militia now, because they were farmers and then they became militia. So what I'm going to do is train them, I guess, unless anybody else wants to do something similar. And going on the theme of the, the 442nd Infantry Unit, the World War II thing, why don't we train them in actual tactics? So now they're not just going to be a bunch of in-shape farm guys like The Bachelor. They're actually going to learn how to fight a little bit. So I'm going to train them in defensive tactics, let's say, because they're going to be defending the town if the town is ever attacked. So they're not going to be trained to be crazy, marauding raiders, like that, but they're going to, we'll teach them maybe some awesome phalanx techniques that Daniel Sprinkle, I've been watching his videos, has been talking about a while ago, a couple days ago. And we'll train them in the bow and arrow, and let's see what they can each do. So Igor, since he is, what's he do? What does he do? He's big and he's strong, so maybe he'll teach fighting. Lewis will, I don't know, Lewis, what can you teach them? We'll think of something for Lewis to do. And I know Commissar Bain, because he's the military guy, and he's also the guy in charge of the Commissar E. He can get them uniforms so that when they have to serve in the militia, they can get out of their farmer clothes and into actual uniforms like state troopers. So we'll just have like a standing military force. Each one of these guys will do something to train them in tactics and fighting skills and how to use a bow and arrow. They can be supplied because we've got all of our guys who are in charge of the stores and stuff, so they'll make sure that they get the equipment they need and everything, and yeah, that's how we do it. So thanks for watching this super long video, you guys. I hope it was of some interest for those of you who are participating in the Beat WarbossTae get the most Warboss challenge for the end of the month. And I hope you guys are keeping track of your scores. This, again, is a dice rolling app. All I did was go into the App Store and type in Dice Roller app, or dice rolling. And this came up. A bunch of other ones came up, mostly for role-playing games. I just wanted to get the simplest one. You could just add as many d6s as you want and hit a button. So there's no fancy roll mechanics. But I hope you guys liked the video. I'm sorry for running so long, and we'll see you tonight for the daily update. Latest players!